You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's The New Normal After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's The New Normal After Show.
Woo! Hello. Bing is for doing, and we are here doing our preview episode of The New Normal, created by Ryan Murphy. I am your host, Lauren Leonelli.
Hey, Lauren. I'm your co-host, Anna Koppel.
And I'm Kristyn Burtt. Glad to be here with you guys.
Yes, so glad to have you guys. So we are going to just kind of be going over the pilot episode, and we're going to talk about the characters and the storyline of the show, and sort of we're so excited to see what Ryan Murphy has stirring up for us all to watch this season. I am excited about this show.
I am too.
Yeah. I have to say, first off, I love Ryan Murphy. I'm very familiar with all of his other TV shows, and this is just totally, it has Ryan Murphy stamped all over it.
Which is great, and I think it's one of the hottest shows to come on the new season.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's really highly anticipated and a lot of controversy, so a lot to talk about.
Of controversy. And also Allison Adler is one of the other creators as well. I should mention her, but I just have to say I'm a huge Ryan Murphy fan, so I just have to put it in there. All right, we will start talking about how the storyline, what the premise of the storyline is, sort of get you familiar with what's going on for the new episode next week. Basically, we start off with a gay couple, and this is the character David and Brian, and they have this perfect relationship, everything's great, and they're missing one thing, and it's a baby. So
they have it together. They have a good relationship. They have money.
Yeah.
I believe it's Brian's assistant is being played by Nene Leakes.
Yes.
So they have it together to the point where they're successful, and but they're missing a baby.
They're missing a baby, and we get introduced to Goldie, who is a character played by Georgia King, and she is just getting out of a really bad relationship, and she and her daughter, she's a single mom, decide they need to start anew. They pick up, they move to LA, and that is where the characters meet each other. That is where Brian and David meet the woman that they want to be the surrogate for the child that they are dreaming about having. And Goldie's grandmother, who I just have to say is played by Ellen Barkin. I don't understand. Ellen Barkin is so gorgeous and beautiful. How is she even the grandmother of that woman? Like
it doesn't quite make sense.
I mean, Ellen is like, ba-bam. And I'm like, she's the grandma? Well, actually, she says the little girl, who is, I think her name's Shayna. We were trying to figure out how that's pronounced.
Yeah.
I think it's pronounced Shayna. She is played by B.B. Wood.
What about Shania?
Shania?
I don't know.
Maybe it's Shania. We can't really, we don't know. Shania is the character name of Goldie's daughter, and she sort of gives a reference to Ellen Barkin's character, who is Jane, and she says, Nana, you're a bigot, and I'm going to unfriend you on Facebook. And she sort of says, well, I'm too young to be a nana or a grandma or something. And she says, great grandma, actually. So we know for sure that it's actually Goldie's grandmother, not mother, although she looks like she could be her mother.
I mean, Ellen Barkin looks amazing.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine. I believe she's in her like late 50s, early 60s.
Oh, really?
Even. Yes. And she is just like aging really well in real life.
She looks great.
She looks amazing. She's a great actress too.
Oh my gosh, she's a great actress. I remember watching her in like This Boy's Life. Like, how long ago was that? In the early 90s, I feel like.
Playing Leonardo DiCaprio's mom.
She was stunning then. I swear she looks no different.
No, I don't think she does. And she's done a ton of Broadway work in the last few years living in New York. And I don't know what she's doing, but I want her secret.
Like your secret, Ellen, because you look fabulous. She's probably rubbing some cantaloupe juice on her skin or something.
You know, I was like baby stem cells. You know, that's what they do. Stem cells.
Who knows? But she looks
So
amazing.
creepy.
So
I just want to really quickly jump in. So she's been doing Broadway work. You had actually mentioned earlier that Brian, who's played by Andrew Reynolds, is that how I pronounce it?
I think it's Reynolds.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm terrible with names.
That's
I know.
okay.
You know what? Well, fine.
That he was performing in the Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
Right. Do you want to say more about that?
Sure. I mean, the Book of Mormon, I mean, if anyone's been to New York or heard about it, the national tour is actually coming to Los Angeles.
It is. I'm so excited about that.
I might take it September 20th.
I can't wait.
I saw the original cast, too, so this is the second time around for me because I'm kind of a musical theater nerd. But,
Awesome.
you know, Andrew and the original cast, I mean, made a huge splash in the New York Broadway scene when this opened. Trey Parker and Matt Stone are the creators of it, so it's irreverent. And it's ironic that with the controversy going on with the new normal, the show Book of Mormon is about Mormonism.
And, you know, when the Book of Mormon, the musical, came out, a lot of members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, they were okay with the musical. I mean, a lot of people thought, oh man, it's just poking fun at Mormonism. And in fact, I haven't seen the show, but I read that that's actually not true. That it just it gives you factual evidence about the religion, and I believe that there were a lot of Mormons that said it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, it teaches. If anything, it teaches people about our religion, and I think it's kind of an interesting way to do so. I'm sure it's funny by default, but I don't think it's meaning to poke fun. Correct?
Yeah, I mean it's hilarious. And it's completely irreverent, and you just have to go in there with an open mind.
Right.
But I've heard many Mormons have gone to see it, and they absolutely love it, which I love. And you know, Trey Parker, Matt Stone, they make fun of everyone, including Scientology.
Of course.
Now Scientology has not taken it as well, so it's interesting.
Well, that's a little different.
Well, anyway, my point was just that there are some theater people on the show, and we're sort of like way over here now.
Yeah, no, there are some theater people on the show, and I love that the cast is full of like a bunch of different types of I guess you could say actors, but then there's Nene Leakes, and she is not an actor. We know her from The Housewives of Atlanta, and she was on Glee.
Yep.
And now she is playing the assistant to Brian. Now, I'm not quite sure what exactly his job is. I'm sure we'll find more about that as the season goes on, but she's his assistant, and she's basically herself. She's a very outspoken, specific type of person, and I think she's a
sassy black lady, just saying.
Oh, well, she is a sassy black lady, but that's not exactly where I was going. I mean, she's definitely like, she's got her own opinion. She's her, and she's being her, and from the like little bits that I saw just in this episode, she's just being her, and she's a great job of it. Yeah, I was a little nervous about Nene Leakes. What do you guys think?
More to come. I think I follow all of the Housewives.
Yes, so do I.
So to see Nene being Nene, it's just like, look, she's not a big enough deal to have her be doing like a cameo. So I don't really see it as acting yet. But, you know, I'm open.
You're open to see what she does. How about you, Kristyn? What do you think?
I think like Ryan Murphy has really taken a liking to Nene Leakes.
Yeah.
And, you know, she is bigger than life. This is a comedy. Hopefully they'll give her a lot of broad comedy stuff to do on the show. And I think she's going to be okay. I mean, I have watched Atlanta Housewives for a long time, so I do have to kind of flip my mindset on that. But she did fine on Glee. I mean, she didn't bug me. No. I have to say that. And if someone bugs me when, you know, you just can't take the reality and the character, and you can't, you know, separate the two. But I've been able to do that with her, so I think she's going to be okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think I was a little nervous that she was going to bug, and how is she going to work in, and what are they going to have her do? And I feel like she's really good at being her. And that's a hard thing to do, honestly.
Yeah.
It's not easy to be honest about who you are. You think you're, you know, who people want you to be or whatever. So I think she did a good job of just being her and being funny and sassy. like we like to see. So what are you guys excited to see? What do you think? I mean, are you excited to watch the relationship between Brian and David blossom? Are you excited to see the relationship between the Nene Leakes character and who is Rocky, by the way? Her character's name is Rocky. And the dynamic between her and her boss, Brian, or Goldie and I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of interested to see how Goldie and Jane, Ellen Barkin's character, kind of banter back and forth.
Do you want to start?
Sure. I think for me, personally, with the series, I really want to see how Ryan Murphy pushes some buttons, because I think what's interesting with the debut of the series is that it is an election year. Some of these topics are on the table for people, politicians, voters in mind too. And, I think it sort of started with Will and Grace, like introducing gay characters to the mainstream, which sounds like ridiculous now, but at the same time, I think we've seen Modern Family show that, two gay men and a baby, perfectly normal and fine. So I'm interested to see where Ryan Murphy takes this storyline, because I think he's going to take it in a direction that maybe is a little bit more controversial than what we see on Modern Family.
But are you nervous that it's going to be like Glee Part 2, though? Because he totally pushes those buttons in Glee. I mean, Leah Michelle's character has two fathers, and there's a lot of gay characters on the show, and there's a handicapped character, there's a physically and mentally handicapped character, he gets them all encompassing. So how do you think it's going to be different? Do you think he's going to be able to make this a little more edgy or interesting, or what? How do you think it's going to vary?
Well, I think I can speak to that. The show, being called The New Normal, I think often we forget we live in this bubble in LA where, like, I mean, of course gays should have kids. So that's crazy to me. Of course, like, like gay marriage, yes, absolutely. And like, why is this even an issue? Why are we even arguing about it? But I think we're like in our bubble here and don't realize all the time that there's an entire country that doesn't feel that way. And so I'm excited that we do have the character who plays Goldie and Jane are coming from Ohio, so I think we'll have a lot of callbacks. And in fact, the pilot, which you can still watch on NBC.com, right away, Ellen Barkin says something that's I can't remember exactly what she said, but there are lesbians there that have a child, and she makes some really sort of off-color comments, and so I think we'll be able to sort of call back to this other side of the argument. And that'll be interesting to watch that play out.
I think that's a good point, and I think that is a way for Ryan Murphy to push the buttons with those characters, because they're going to say those things that are going to be, like you said, off color or maybe another point of view. This show takes place in Los Angeles, so they're probably going to be Goldie and Jane and the daughter Shania, I think is how we say that, are going to be the people coming from that other side of the middle America or the rest of the country that doesn't necessarily agree with this. So we're going to get all the opinions.
And even though it's not an opinion I necessarily agree with, they do have to be represented, and I think it's important for their side to be heard and everything, and because we do live out here in Los Angeles and we're like, oh, whatever, but it is something that's important, and we'll see how Ryan deals with that, because he clearly has the Los Angeles point of view on all of this.
Of course. Right. Of course. And Ryan is an openly gay man as well, so he's coming from that side as well, but I mean, he represents, even in the first very beginning of the show, the first couple of minutes, there was he liked to, and he wanted to show everybody that there's many different types of parents, and there was a deaf couple that had kids, there was a little person, there was a woman that was a single mom. So I mean, he's very good at all encompassing. Everybody is in on this. It's not just like, let's talk about gay people and then people who don't agree with it.
It's what makes a family.
Exactly. And I think it's a very good representation of how America really is. Honestly. I mean, I'm excited to see, I love Ellen Barkin. I'm so excited to see her just go for it. Like, that's what I'm excited to see. And her relationship with her granddaughter, that to me is going to be absolutely funny. And then I know that there's some scenes where Goldie and Jane and Rocky meet. So Nene Leakes and Ellen Barkin in scenes together, both of those snappy attitudes. How funny is that going to be?
It's going to be great.
Love that.
Yeah, and if those scenes are written well, I bet this will be an Emmy award-winning role for Ellen Barkin.
I hope so.
I think so.
I hope so. Is this her first TV role? I want to say, to my knowledge,
Maybe
it is.
series regular. I feel like she's at least been on guest stars.
Yeah, guest stars and stuff. But series regular, I think this
series
is her
regular.
first.
I feel like that's correct. She was started out as a movie star.
Of course, yeah. That's what all I'm familiar with most.
I
of
love
her
everyone's
work
got their iPhones out there.
I know.
Ready.
Yeah,
we're checking that out.
Looking
And
that up right
speaking
now.
of iPhones. You can go onto iTunes on your iPhone, and we love when you do that. And we really appreciate when you go on iTunes and you listen to us and you rate and you comment and you tell a friend and you mass email. Isn't that what your little slogan was last time?
All right, you're going to bring it over to the show now, too.
It's a great idea. I think that, again, we love hearing your feedback and your comments, and we love when you rate and comment, and we just appreciate you going on and checking us out. So thank you for doing that. All right, guys. Maybe we should get into a little news and gossip. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, so we mentioned that there was a ton of controversy surrounding this show. The subject matter is very controversial, and there's a couple people who have problems with it. Do we want to talk about that? Kristyn, do you want to sort of...
I'll start off where the controversy started, which was 1 Million Moms. It's a group, that really doesn't approve of gay marriage, and they have, if you've listened to the news, not only have they talked about boycotting the new normal, but they were also the ones that complained about Ellen DeGeneres' campaign with JCPenney. So that got a lot of news. So you can sort of see where that group focuses in on. They did, complain when it was announced that it was picked up by NBC for the fall. So we're going way back to even May when they started this controversy, and now it's continued over with the Utah station, which is Mormon-owned, KSL. You guys want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, they KSL had an issue with when they found out that NBC had picked up the new normal, and they wanted to boycott. They didn't want to show the show at all. They were like, no, this is not happening. And we found out that
I gave that information.
Okay, so I just didn't want to take over. KUCW is also an NBC affiliate, and they're in Ogden, and they have been kind of known for picking up shows that KSL has refused to air, and like shows like SNL and the Playboy Club, and now they're showing the new normal. They're picking it up.
Which I think is great. I mean, it's so hard for me to think, like, how dare they not show it, talking about KSL. But again, it's a family-owned station. They have a right to air what they want. Remember, this is the U.S., and, we have all these freedoms. But at the same time, I'm glad that someone else is picking up to give everyone in Utah the opportunity to see it, because not everyone is going to find the show all that controversial.
I agree.
Yeah, so it's two sides of the coin. You always, even if you disagree with, again, the premise of it, you kind of have to see their point of view. It's hard, but
we do live in a great country. I mean, I hate to just, I don't know, that sounds silly, but and patriotic, but it's true. It's really true. Like, I love everything you just said, that we do have to see this other side, but
I think it's fair to at least let it air, and it can be your decision if you want to see it or don't see it. But to just not let it have the chance to, to let anybody make that choice is where I think it's borderline
censorship.
Yeah.
It's a borderline. It's an iffy topic. Ellen Barkin's been very, very outspoken about it on Twitter. So, I mean, if you watch her Twitter feed, you'll definitely see what she's talking about. And it is, we have to kind of watch that, because censorship is not good. So I'm glad, like, it's fair and balanced in that another station is picking it up. Yeah. But it'll be really interesting to see what happens in Utah and see what the ratings are like, just even in that state and
exactly.
that station.
That will be really interesting. And, Ryan Murphy is a risk taker, and yeah, you got to take a risk, and this show is really risky, and I applaud him for doing that. And I think that, people are going to have a problem with it when you take a risk. Some people you're going to either be loved or hated, and that's just the name of the game, and we're excited that it's on, so. All right, guys, maybe we should get into some predictions, because we're all so excited about this. Let's predict some things.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Ooh. Okay. Anna.
I felt it. I mean, there's so much to predict. I mean, obviously, Goldie's going to be the surrogate.
Yes.
I'm not sure how quickly Ellen Barkin's going to make it to LA. I hope it's within the first episode. I want to see a lot of her. But she did in the pilot, not to blow it for you guys if you haven't seen it, but she did say she would work something out with the character Goldie's ex. So who knows if that storyline's going to go for a while. Okay, I'll predict that.
Yeah.
I predict she'll stay in Ohio for a hot minute and won't be in LA immediately. So there, that's my big fat prediction.
Okay, good.
All right, I'm going to take mine outside of the story a little bit and take it to a little bit more of real life, but I think the show is going to be a really big, huge comedy for NBC. However, since we are in election year, I feel like one of the candidates will take this show and sort of make it a topic if they start talking about gay marriage and family values and things like that. I think it might become part of the election sort of lingo and speeches out there.
Maybe Barack Obama, because he's out for the gay marriage rights.
Or the other side.
Or the other side to debunk it.
Yep. I think it kind of will make its way into, our real life.
Okay, well, I love that one. I did see that Gwyneth Paltrow is slated to be on an episode this season, and we all know Ryan Murphy loves her from Glee. And I predict that she is going to come on and she is going to play a gay character.
Ooh, I like that.
I like that too.
And maybe she'll sing.
I hope not. I hope not.
Who knows? We shall see. Well, thank you so much for tuning in and watching us, and we look forward to this wonderful, wonderful season of The New Normal. It's going to be filled with wonderful, amazing, controversial topics. We can't wait to discuss them with you. So thanks a lot. I am Lauren Leonelli, and you can find me on Twitter at Lauren Leonelli and Facebook under the same name.
I'm Anna Koppel. You can follow me at Koppel for Mayor, KOPPELFORMAYOR.
And I'm Kristyn Burtt. You can also find me on Twitter at Kristyn Burtt, and that's KRISTYNBURTT.
All right.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.